Good morning and welcome to an absolutely gorgeous summer's day here at Abu Dhabi. Guys, today we'll be flying with British Airways in their Premium Economy through to London. Very much looking forward to this one. I haven't bought Premium Economy to you for about a year or so really keen to see how they're getting on here in 2024. Today we're going to be aboard the Dreamliner, so let's head inside, get checked in. It's getting warm and we'll get on our way to London. It was a beautiful sunny start to the day that morning as I set off bright and early for Abu Dhabi. It's only around an hour or so's cab journey from Dubai, so if you are considering heading over to Dubai, I would consider Abu Dhabi. Cabs typically less than $100 each way, nice and easy to find one. You can just simply pick them up on Uber, and then it's then arriving into the absolute glorious brand new terminal at Abu Dhabi. So today we're actually heading through Abu Dhabi's brand new terminal, and this is my very first time doing it. I have to say, it's absolutely stunning, as you'd expect. Haven't featured Etihad before on the channel, but I think this is a bit of a wake-up call for me to do so. Anyway, just arriving at the check-in zone just now, so we'll get checked in. Premium Economy do get a little bit of priority just here. It's one of the many perks of flying in the cabin, so we'll check that out together, get checked in, and then through to the other side. Just ahead of you there, you can see the 4 check-in options. It's World Traveller Plus that you'd be heading to as part of Premium Economy. Check-in was gloriously smooth on that morning, and it wasn't long before the bags were checked in and I was on my way through to security. As you'd expect then from a terminal of this size, a ton of different food and drink outlets on offer. We'll go through to the lounge really briefly, won't show it too long. It's not included as part of Premium Economy, but it is included as part of status with British Airways. More on that a little bit later. Now, when it comes to airports in the Gulf, Doha takes an awful lot of beating. It really is fantastic, but this place is absolutely stunning, brand new. I love very much the very light vibe. It's breathtaking. Could this be my new favourite airport in the region? I think it could be. Absolutely wonderful. Let's head to the lounge next. Quick word then on the lounge front. British Airways don't have their own lounge at Abu Dhabi. There was a bit of a generic airport style of lounge. It was a decent size. The highlight area for me was actually heading out onto the terrace bar. There you can enjoy some of the vistas over that brand new terminal. It was also a little bit more of a relaxed area. There were showers, however, and also a decent selection of food and drinks. Alrighty, so a fairly brief stay this morning in the lounge. Wasn't keen to do that to death. Lounge access sadly isn't included as part of a Premium Economy ticket. It's well worth mentioning, however, at this moment in time, you do get an awful lot more status points when flying Premium Economy. So of course, over time, that does add up to perks such as lounge access. With British Airways, you do need silver status. That's the One World Alliance equivalent of Sapphire. On this particular trip, for example, I'm going to get 90 or so status miles back to London's Heathrow, 180 for the round trip in Premium Economy, and it's 600 that you'd need for lounge access. So actually, you know, a few trips a year, over time it would add up. As for now, it's time for me to head to the gate. I've looked out this morning, it's gate A1, so I'm hoping that'll be the nearest gate. May well be completely the opposite, but let's find out together and we'll get on board and on our way back to London. Thankfully, the airport gods were very kind. Indeed, gate A1 was indeed the closest of the gates. We'll jump on board in just a moment. An albeit brief but wonderful stay here at Abu Dhabi's brand new Terminal A. Just before we jump on board, guys, should say if this sort of content is your thing, I've got so much more on the channel from British Airways across all of their cabins and so many other airlines. So if you hit that subscribe button, it'll keep you fully up to date with the channel, and I would of course very much appreciate it. For now, let's jump on board and we'll check out Premium Economy together with British Airways in 2024. Just like everything before it at the airport, the boarding process was handled nice and smoothly, and it wasn't long before I was heading down that jet bridge, ready to board the Dreamliner. That morning, I managed to board before pretty much all of the other passengers, so we'll get a really nice quiet view around the cabin before everyone else jumps on board. We'll board firstly through the old Club World. If you're keen to check out that experience on the Dreamliner, conveniently, I've got a video on the channel and I'll pop a link to it in the description just below. As we head through, we'll firstly check out Premium Economy here on the Dreamliner with the seats laid out in a 2-3-2 configuration. Whether you're travelling solo, as I was on that morning, or indeed as part of a larger group, my pick of the seat would no doubt be one of the twins next to the windows. It secures the window seat, means you've only got maximum one person next to you, and they're by far and above the best seats to go for. For me, I'd avoid the absolute front row, reason being because the entertainment screens will pop up from almost the armrest type area below and sit a little bit lower in your eye line. So for me, I think a little bit of a crick neck as you watch the entertainment screens, so perhaps one just behind is best. If you would like a little bit of extra legroom, however, those front seats may well be worth looking at. In terms of the seats themselves, nice and comfortable. This is slightly the older design within British Airways Premium Economy, so it doesn't have the calf rest. Those headrests, however, are really nice and comfortable. As you'd have seen, plenty of legroom was on offer. For reference, I'm 180 centimetres. A couple of additional features. You've got a little cocktail table just down to your side. That's really useful when it comes to the drinks. And here's a view of that front row seat with the entertainment screens out just there, so you can see exactly what I was talking about a moment ago. Next up, we'll talk all-important charging. Thankfully, with British Airways Premium Economy, you've got a couple of plug charging options just down to your side. Those are international plug socket adapters just there. And also, in front of the seat, you've got two USB adapters as well. Alrighty, so that's us on board. Nice quiet cabin today, nice and comfortable. Got on nice and early, so easy to do all of the filming. I think it'll be a breakfast service shortly after the takeoff, so looking forward to bringing that one to you. For now, we'll push back and get up into the skies. Last but not least, a couple of individual reading lights above. Otherwise, the pre-takeoff service was just coming around. It was water and orange juice on that day. But for now, let's get pushed back and on our way to London Heathrow. As we took to those summer desert skies, the clearness of the morning was soon fading. It is worth saying the Dreamliner windows do have a slight tint on them as well. As we got airborne, some hot towels were being brought around. This was a nice quick freshen up before the rest of the service was coming around. One feature I do additionally like with the Dreamliners is the ability, however, to tint the windows. It does make for a daytime flight that little bit better because you don't have to shut the shades all the way down, so you can still enjoy the view whilst almost having a sunglasses style of view. In terms of the bathrooms, nothing super special. These were shared with the economy cabin just here. They were decent enough in terms of size and were nice and clean throughout the duration of the flight. Next up, let's talk all-important entertainment. First things first, the headset. Nice quality of headset. It's very akin to what you'd receive up in the business class, so top marks to British Airways for supplying these just here. In terms of the entertainment screen itself, a little bit dated just here on the Dreamliner. You can see these response speeds are fairly pedestrian. To be honest, the user interface of British Airways High Life could also do with a bit of an update. In terms of the content, however, this is really solid. I'm never short of things to watch on British Airways, whether it's things from the world of film or even TV. Lots of options just here, and it's a decent entertainment system overall. And last but certainly not least, let's talk the all-important Wi-Fi offering. A couple of different packages available just here. If you're lucky enough to be travelling in first class, as I was on the way out there, you can access the Wi-Fi completely for free, and you can check out my review of the first class experience in the description just below. In terms of a little bit further back then, you've got free messaging throughout the duration of the flight. This is a brand new initiative from British Airways, and a big thumbs up to them for offering that. In terms of upgrading from simply just messaging, it will be the browse and stream options that you want, and you can either buy a flight pass for the entire flight or indeed something for a little bit of a shorter duration. In no time at all, the service was, however, starting to come around. There's a choice of drinks to go for. I was still on the water at that front, and also the pretzels were offered. In terms of the table, this just folds out from the armrest, nice and smooth and easy to do so with one hand. A little bit tricky, so you'll have to forgive my slowness just here. In terms of the table, a couple of different deployment options. You've got a really solid option with simply something just for drinks, or you can fold it out that little bit more for dining here. Slightly more flimsy, but otherwise the table works fairly nicely indeed. As we boarded, those eagle-eyed viewers amongst you would notice that a small amenity kit was offered. This is something that we'll take a look at just here. It's got a few of the basic options, nowhere near as plush as something that you'd expect up in the business class. However, there's an eye mask, a toothbrush, some sleeper socks just there. So a couple of little bits and pieces, and I thought this was a nice touch from British Airways to offer it back in the premium economy. Not before long, thoughts were very much starting to turn towards food and what would be offered on this flight. There was a couple of different services on offer. There was a lunch/dinner style of service. This was to be the main service that's going to be offered, and then a light snack that we'll check out just before landing. I've had some fantastic experiences with British Airways of late in premium economy when it comes to dining, so I was really looking forward to what was to be offered on that flight. And in no time at all, the food was brought around. Premium economy gets served ahead of the economy cabin. For those of you who are brand new to premium economy, the dining experience is a big step up from what you get back in the economy. Everything's served on china. There's real metal cutlery, and I do have to say I find the food a big step up as well. Whilst I was remaining on the soft drinks, there were a range of different alcoholic options available. Everything looked absolutely superb. I opted for that vegetable korma just there, and I have to say it was really very tasty. The highlight, as always though, with British Airways is the dessert, so I couldn't wait to try that and see exactly what that was going to be like, and as ever, it didn't disappoint. With such an early start that morning, I couldn't wait to get a little bit of rest, so I reached for that upgraded blanket that you get in premium economy, popped the seat back in its nicely reclined sleeping position, and got a couple of hours rest ahead of the second service. As part of that second service, it was a light snack, quote unquote, that was to be offered. In terms of the exact options on that afternoon, it was a chicken wrap or indeed a cheese pizza style of thing. It was the chicken wrap that I opted for, and whilst it doesn't look hugely appetizing, it was actually really good. For those of you who get a little bit hungry between meal times, there was also then some further snacks that were available constantly at the galley towards the rear of the aircraft. It wasn't long at all before London was coming into view, and it was a good time for me to reflect back on the experience so far with British Airways. Overall, I've long been a fan of their premium economy offering. I do find it a really big step up from economy, and when you can get it at a fairly slight additional premium, I think it represents really good value for money indeed. In terms of target price for this cabin, I'd look to spend no more than 50% on top of the economy offering as a rough guide, but different people will have different views on that particular front. In terms of the flight itself, well, the crew were absolutely fantastic throughout. I thought the food was very much on point. Entertainment was decent, even forsaking that slightly slower entertainment screen just there. But more importantly, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. I do love responding to all of the comments that I get, so pop your thoughts just there, and I look forward to catching up with you just below. If you're looking to include British Airways as part of your upcoming travel plans, you can check out a recent review of their economy cabin in the bottom left just now. If you're thinking of splashing out a little bit more, I've got a recent review of their business class in the top left. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is to thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in another one real soon.